Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us. We love and appreciate you, all of you tuning in and tuning within here this morning in this sacred space. My name is Amy Vanling, and it is always my joy to be here with you each week sharing this inspired and insightful experience. It's a moment in time, a precious moment in time, a sacred moment for us to commune. And here you will always get the opportunity to discover dynamic thought leaders and remarkably talented musicians. We have so much fun here on Sunday mornings, and we are truly many voices sharing inspiration and activating the frequency of love in this world. It is our mission. So I invite you here to open up. That's part of our theme this month, open up, creating that empty space for inspiration, downloads, divine mind to drop in, and a place where you can come and remember that you are a unique expression of this divine presence, magnificent power and presence. And we invite you to really be with that here, tune into that part of yourself here, because sometimes we forget, and this is a place you can come back and remember. And we're grateful to hold that space here with you. Welcome in. Good morning, Florence and Kathy. Beloveds, we're so grateful to be here together. Our theme this month is Orient to Openness. So this could go all different directions as we orient, and I've loved that this month. So orienting to openness, aligning ourselves with infinite possibilities of the spirit, trusting that divine wisdom is always unfolding. And when we release that resistance, so that's the part of the opening, when we release resistance in that posture of openness, we allow love to guide us beyond the fear, beyond the limitations, and expanding our consciousness. So we welcome in this place of opening this space, we welcome in all the blessings, new blessings, things we never even considered. So as a community, we are grounded in principle and actually called to embrace this openness so we can recognize in every moment that we are co-creating with the divine. So I'm thankful for all of us here together co-creating, and I invite you to co-create with me this coming week because I will be in town for our annual Peace Walk on Thursday, 6:30 Brentwood City Hall. And then I'll be there Saturday, the 21st at Veterans Park for our community circle. So come co-create with me this week. I'm excited to be there. Welcome in. Oh, goodness. I see everybody popping in here. Hi, Pat. Pat says, hi, everyone from Lincoln City, Oregon, the coast. Yay. Luinda's here. Good morning, everyone. Yvette's here. Nice. Good morning, beloveds. So grateful to see all of you beautiful souls here with us. Well, it is my utmost joy to welcome back our dear beloved Reverend Verona Garland. She is an inspiration, a true breath of the spirit. And she is open-hearted and open-minded being of exquisite magnificence. And she just radiates. You can see that. She's a blessing to everybody. And we're so grateful, as always, to have you here when you give us that sacred yes. She's often in person in Brentwood. And today we get the opportunity to have her on Zoom. And that's always a little treat for me. So thank you, dear one, for being here and saying yes. Verona's message today is GPSing into creativity, insight, imagination, and question mark, what else? What if being receptive is as easy as Google Maps? I love that. Thank you, dear one. And there will be a workshop today, adjusting, harmonizing, and acclimatizing. Leave it to Verona to tongue twist me. I love it. I do love it. Our workshop is right after our Facebook Live service, and we go into a Zoom room. Everybody is welcome from 11:30 to 12:30 Pacific time. So join the Zoom link. I will drop it here in the chat. It's also on our website, unityinspiredliving.org. You will see a picture of John, Verona, and then the link right into the workshop. Come on, come all, invite everybody. Everybody is welcome there. We're going to deep dive into this topic, and I really look forward to that. Thank you, beloved, so much for being with us today and giving us your sacred yes. We have the amazing, wonderful John SHINN, and we were just saying how this is John's first time on Zoom with us because he's usually in person too. So I have like extra treats today on Zoom. I'm so fortunate. John is here gifting us with his magnificence, his magnificent presence, and his joy-filled essence, and this mystical, magical, musical energy he brings to us, and it flows through his heart and his soul. And we are so grateful for your spectacular beingness and your sacred yes to be here with us today and share your time and energy and your song. Thank you. Thank you. We also have our beloved, amazing angel. You have no idea how much this being holds my life together at Unity Inspired Living. Nancy Pimentel is with us, and she is bringing her beautiful, radiant light and her dedicated, compassionate heart. And she is sharing with us today our selected inspirational reading, some community announcements, and our prayer of plenitude this morning. So thank you all for being here with us. And Nancy, John, Verona, and I welcome you into our space this morning. We're so grateful to share time with you. So we are going to, let me see. Hi, we have so many logging in. Yay! Hi, Michael J. Welcome in, beloveds, everybody who's logging in here with us this morning. We're so grateful to be co-creating this space with you. We are going to open up with our mission statement. So I'm going to invite you right now to do whatever it is you do to get centered. Maybe you place your hand on your heart. Maybe you take a deep inhale. Maybe you light a candle next to you. Whatever that is that you do to find that inner peace. And tune into our mission statement, because we are here activating this mission, which is fostering love and wisdom, inspiring transformation, offering compassionate outreach, and embracing unity. We're so thankful to be doing this together as a collective. So I'm going to hand the screen over to John now, and he has our community song for us this morning. And this is our song that I like to invite everybody to sing along so that you can open up. This is a great way to open up your heart chakra and your throat chakra and just get the energy flowing in your body. So thank you so much, John. I'm handing the screen over to you.
Yes, and so I invite you all to take in this mantra. All is well. All is well now. All is well. All is well now. All is well. All is well now. All is well. Deep within me. All is well. All is well now. All is well. All is well now. All is well. All is well now. All is well. Deep within
And a beautiful reminder for us. Thank you, John. We love and appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen over to Nancy this morning. She has our inspirational reading and some announcements. Thank you, Nancy.
Good morning, everyone. Now for our announcements. Be sure to join us for the after-service workshop with Reverend Verona from 11:30 to 12:30 on Zoom, and find the Zoom link on our homepage of our website, unityinspiredliving.org. We always join together in dialogue with curiosity and wonder and a willingness to be willing to orient to openness. Our annual event, the Peace Walk, is happening this coming Thursday, September 19th, beginning at 6:30 on the lawn outside the Brentwood Community Center across from the library. Amy will be leading the service, and we will have the candlelight ceremony with Father Tom Bonacci with us as we open our hearts to peace in the world. I encourage you to invite your friends and family to join us for this very important event as we proclaim together peace in our world. And if you are willing to post or hand out some flyers for the Peace Walk, please call me and I will have copies and would love to share with the community. Thank you so much. And please also save the date of September 21st for our third community circle and potluck. We will be back at Veterans Park at our same location beginning at 11 o'clock and our circle and potluck at 12. We look forward to returning to the park and seeing all of you and your pets too at the Veterans Park on Balfour in Brentwood. We are sending out a huge heartfelt thank you to all who are continuing to support the Mitchell Van Lang Family Memorial Fund each month. Please contribute to make your donations via check, PayPal, or Zelle no later than 2 days before the end of the month. Also, if you have an idea for an event for the months of September and October's monthly meanderings, please let Jan or me know so that we can advertise it in the Weekly Connection and you will have time to organize it. And remember, we encourage you to like, share our Facebook page and our YouTube page every time you visit them. And please subscribe to our YouTube page, Unity Inspired Living. It really makes a difference. Thanks for listening and for being such an integral part of our Unity Inspired Living community. And now for our inspirational reading. Today's reading is from the Daily Word. My open heart discovers beauty all around me. I see beauty in soaring mountains and roaring seas, in majestic forests and kaleidoscopic fields of flowers. I hear beauty in music, bird songs, and the laughter and conversations of people in fellowship. Searching beyond my senses, I discover a greater depth of beauty. The mundane items and landmarks I may take for granted take on a deeper beauty when my memories fill them with meaning. My dear ones become even more beautiful to me when I pause to remember our fondest experiences and the love that binds us. I move through each day with my mind and heart open. Now, even the most ordinary items, places, and circumstances become more and more precious and beautiful to me. And all of us, with unveiled faces, seeing the glory of the Lord as reflected in a mirror, are being transformed into the same image. 2 Corinthians verse 3:18. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Nancy, for sharing all of that. Your beautiful presence, and we're grateful for you. Thank you. I'm going to hand the screen back over to John for our next song this morning. Thank you, John.
In the theme of opening, this is a song that I often use to open my day, which came to me. It's called Morning Prayer. Oh Lord, I pray to Thee today. Bring faith and trust and hope my way. May inner peace I pray. Oh Lord, I pray to Thee this day, bring faith and trust and hope my way. May inner peace and self-love fill me this day. I pray. I pray.
Wow, what a beautiful way to start every morning.
Yes.
Certainly a beautiful way to start our morning. Thank you, John. That was wonderful. We're grateful. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen back over to Nancy. She has our prayer of plenitude this morning. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. Please join me now as we take a moment to become centered and breathe. In prayer today, we focus on our abundant universe by affirming, I am willing to open my mind and heart to the flow of abundance. I am grateful for renewed life and open to creative ideas that prosper me. Infinite Spirit guides my way to new opportunities that enrich me. I am open and ready to receive an infinite abundance of health, happiness, love, and prosperity now. Each breath I take reminds me that life is ever flowing through me as me. I release any thoughts or beliefs that are holding me back. This is a new moment, and I am claiming my good. I am expanding in consciousness and embracing a new way of being. I am worthy of all of the abundance God has for me. I am a magnet for good, attracting new experiences that prosper me. I trust that I am always guided to my highest good. With a grateful heart, I rejoice and receive blessings upon blessings. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Grateful for you. Okay, John. John has our final song this morning. I'm going to hand the screen over. Thank you, beloved.
Yes, and this one's a little reminder from Elton John. These words I have to say, they may be simple, but they're true. Till you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. You know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say it's very hard to leave behind the life you knew. There's no other way, so it's really up to you. Love is a key we must turn. Truth is a flame we must burn. Freedom, a lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. You know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean?
And that was so great. Love is the opening door. It's what we came here for. So simple to remember, Come on, everybody. Remember in
Yes.
every moment, even in the traffic, right? Even in the moments where something appears to be irritating and not
Maybe,
quite to the plan. Thank you, John.
maybe simple, but it's true.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for bringing that to us this morning. Thank you, Nancy and John, for bringing your presence, your essence, your beauty. We are so grateful for both of you and the space you created this morning with us. Thank you. Thank you. We will see you on this side of the technology. Mwah. Blessings and love. Thank you for your sacred yes. So I get to be here with our beloved Reverend Verona, special sweet soul. Let me, for those of you getting to know her, and we have a newer bio because she's rocking and rolling in the world. So let me tell you a little bit about Reverend Verona for those of you getting to know her. She's a prosperity mentor, certified freedom life coach, agape and centers for spiritual living minister, staff outreach minister at CSL Palm Springs, California. Verona's ministries include global experiential speaking, prosperity play shops, spiritual guidance sessions, and life rituals. Most recently, she was featured presenter at the Centers for Spiritual Living Conference in Nairobi, Kenya. Mostly, you can find her listening to her inner voice while faithfully and joyously living life to the fullest. And if you want to connect with Verona and know more about her, it's veronagarland.com. We are so grateful for your presence with us here, beloved. I am going to pray us in to this space and then hand the screen over to Reverend Verona for our morning message. So I invite everybody to take a holy breath into this prayer with me, into this moment of sacredness, remembering. Allow yourself to remember that this is a divine moment, that every moment is a sacred and divine moment. We allow ourselves to feel the openness and expanse of our whole, holy, healthy, physical bodies and our higher self essence. And we claim the light that we are. And I am speaking this light and life and word, prayer of love, true love, agape love, inner joy for you, for us, for our world. We recognize that we are the I am that I am presence, the conduit of the essence, embodiment of God, spirit, source, and we move with open hearts and open minds to hear Reverend Verona's message for us today. We pour blessings and gratitude over this precious soul being as she opens her heart and she shares the truth that moves through her today. And I release this word of love and great, great joy pouring forth into the world, saying, yes, 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 the sacred yes. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Namaste. Thank you, beloved. Handing the screen over to you, dear one.
Oh, thank you, beloved Amy. We can all go home now. John ministered to us musically. Nancy got us with the readings and all the information, and Amy prayed us up. So that's it. We can go home. No, just joking. But thank you, beloved Amy. You know I love you beyond words. And thank you for directing us spiritually here at Unity Inspired Living in so many ways, in so many facets, and from the groundedness and the steepedness in mysticism and spirituality that you are. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm speaking for all of us. I know usually we use the I statements, but I'm sure I'm speaking for all of us. So let's get started. Today, the title that Spirit poured through me is GPSing into creativity, insight, imagination, and of course, we know the theme this month. You've heard some others this month speaking about orienting to openness. So as you know, I always like to start with a little giggle, a little joke, so that we can remember that as we conscientiously and most wholeheartedly focus on our enlightenment here together in this vortex of love and peace and joy and all the God qualities on Sundays, that we also get to be silly. We get to be funny about it. So there was a young child who went to a mega church, and you know the mega churches have lots of services, they have lots of people. They're the mega churches. Okay, so this young person, this kid, went to a mega church, and the kid was walking around in the lobby and saw in glass cases all these medals and all these pictures of people, and was just looking at it and it wasn't quite clear about what it was. So the minister came strolling by, and the kid said to the minister, so what is all this about? What are these for? Why are the medals and the people's pictures? And the minister said, oh, they died in service. And so that's how we honor them. And the kid takes a deep breath, fidgets a little, looks at the minister and says, was it the 8:30 or the 11 o'clock service? Yes, yes. We all get to know, yes, that we it's about clarity with our words. It's how we use our words. We all know our words are charged with prospering power. So that's our little giggle for this morning. It's so funny to me. So let's get into some definitions and what is it we are co-creating here together? What are we talking about? What are we being about? So this GPSing, the beginning of the title that Spirit put through me, or Spirit allowed me to know about. We all know what a GPS is. We have them in our car. We have them in our phone. I don't know where else we have them. However, I have a little bit different definition, which you probably can figure. I'm calling it the God pointing system. Okay, the God pointing system. And what is our God pointing system? Well, the real definition of a GPS, I looked it up, is a receiver that determines its position by analyzing signals. Yeah, kind of complicated and scientific. That's how I felt. However, each one of us is a receiver. Think about it. I'm a receiver. You're a receiver. Each one of us is a receiver of the divinity, the clarity, the imagination, the creativity, the insight of the divine. And we get to determine our position in the midst of it by analyzing the signals that we are given, analyzing the signals that I might give, analyzing all the signals of the universe. You know, there's always a lot going on in the universe. Even if we think something is inanimate, everything is always moving. I was listening to a lecture recently about quantum physics, and the person who was giving the lecture was saying something we know. Everything is always in movement. Everything is always, it's all energy. It's always in flux. It's always vibrating at a different level or just vibrating all the time. So that's the first part. What is our GPS? For us today, GPS is our God pointing system. Next one, creativity, GPSing into creativity. Creativity could be lots of things. Creativity can be artistry. Creativity can be silliness. Creativity can be all sorts of things. However, for today, I'd like us to allow ourselves to embrace this definition, which is representing the infinite. representing the infinite and all that we are and all that we do. Creativity happened with you this morning when you got up and decided what clothing to put on, or this afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. Creativity is prevalent in who and whose we are. And creativity is also an expression of the Most High God within. Any amount of creativity that you have, whether it's the creativity of cooking, the creativity of painting, the creativity of whatever it is that is your purpose. You know, all of us come here for a purpose, and we can sometimes call that our avocation or our job. Each one of us, whatever it is I am participating in, is creativity of the Most High. It's representing or representing, whichever way you would like to put the emphasis. It's representing the Most High, representing the infinitude of the divine. Okay, so now we're GPSing into creativity and insight. Insight, as I know it, is an intuitive listening. It's discernment and distinguishing. And for all of this, it's understanding of the motivational forces within. So think about when you are in meditation or contemplation, that intuitive listening. I have to say, whether I want to listen or not, that intuitive listening, it comes through me, it comes to me. If I give it permission, if I steep myself in the silence and the stillness, the intuitive listening shows up. And sometimes the intuitive voice shows up when I'm not in the silence. For me, as you know, the intuitive voice shows up when I'm in the elliptical machine at the gym. It really starts pouring into me. The intuitive can pour into us when we're taking a soaking in a tub. The intuitive, you know, and of course the intuitive shows up when what? When I invite it in. Inviting the intuitive in is of utmost importance. So this insight is really part of our intuitive receptivity, because intuitive listening is being receptive to that which Spirit is bringing to us, bringing for us, excuse me, and bringing up and out of each one of us. Because did you know, I'm sure you probably do, you're all so enlightened, we come with everything that is for our life, everything that I may quote unquote need, I came here with it. It's inside of me. And it's mine to be open to let it out, to orient to the openness of letting it out, letting it come through me. And how can it come through? By listening, by intuitive listening, by intuitive listening, by awareness, by the knowingness that this is the voice of the divine. This is what is mine to know, to share, to give, to embody. Yeah, so that's the insight part of this. And now imagination, GPSing into creativity, insight, and imagination. You know, imagination is something that is with us while we are children. Have you ever watched kids on a playground? I have. I've watched kids on a playground because I like to go to the playground too now. Not because I bring children to the playground. I don't bring my grandbabies yet to the playground. I bring me to the playground. And if you go to a playground and you watch children at a playground, you'll see, look at all that imagination. And guess what? That imagination is still alive and well and kicking inside each and every one of us. So for today, or for what I feel about it, is what showed up for me is imagination is a concept or a mental formation. A concept or mental formation of our true nature. So imagination is very, very, very important in our lives. And as we grow and as we adult, sometimes imagination has a tendency to slip away, because we can allow ourselves to know that in the society that we grew up in the culture that most of us grew up in, even if we didn't all grow up in the same, imagination may not be something that is highly prized. Imagination may not be something that we look upon and say, oh, I want that. Oh, I have that. Oh, that's a part of me. Imagination sometimes gets kind of pushed to the wayside while we're adulting, while we're being responsible, while we're taking care of all those things that are ours to take care of. Our children, our job, our finances, our this, our that. So yeah, imagination is just so magical and so spectacular and tingly if we allow ourselves to open to it. So this is the thing. And the ways of opening or orienting to this openness are these three things and the more. These the reason I put the and on there, or why Spirit put the and on this title, is there's more than this. There's a gazillion ways of GPSing into all of those things: creativity, insight, imagination, and there's so much more that we are GPSing into in each one of our lives, because I want to remind you that you, my beloved, are a spectacular, magnificent, unique, bespoke emanation of the divine. And nobody else can do it the way you do it. Nobody else can bring it the way you bring it. No one or nothing else can bring to the planet that which you bring in. And also, the planet is a matrix, it's a crossword puzzle. If you choose not to bring who and whose and what you are, the planet goes wanting for that you specifically, that is the miraculous, stupendous, fabulous version of spirit that you are. So we each get to orient ourselves to openness and navigating life by using these three things: creativity, insight, imagination, and anything more, because there is more. Those are just the three things that are showing up this morning. So I'd like to share a story with you of someone who did exactly these things, and you probably know about her. However, her name is Katherine Johnson. And Katherine Johnson was a NASA mathematician, and she was a NASA mathematician from 1953 to 1986, which in itself, 31 years is an accomplishment. Okay, and what did she do at NASA? She calculated the path of spaceships. She deciphered orbital mechanics for the U.S. crewed space flights. You know, first there was flights without people in them. Then when they put people in, she was the innovator of this. She was the creator of this. I mean, just thinking about it. And the first flights that she deciphered the orbital mechanics were the flights of Alan Shepard and John Glenn, and more and more and more on from there. However, those were some of the first. And she at NASA pioneered the use of computers. Can you imagine? Like, we all have a little computer we carry around now in our hands, in our pocket, wherever, in our purse, called a cell phone. But she pioneered the use at NASA of computers. And this was in the 50s, 60s. When, you know, I understand a computer at that time was the size of a room. And that she pioneered the use. Up until then, it was all done on pencil and paper. Just the idea of it boggles my mind. And this is all this wonderful woman, Katherine Johnson, did. Now, she was an African-American woman, and she lived in the South in Virginia. And where she lived, there was no segregated school for her past elementary school. That's all there was to it. If you could go through elementary school, and then that was it, nothing else. So her family had the wherewithal to send her to another school. She went to she boarded at a school. She went to where she stayed. She lived at the school in another part of Virginia. She boarded away from home. And this started when she was 10 years old. When I learned about this, I thought, I can't imagine going to a boarding school at 10 years old and leaving my mother and my father and my other siblings. I mean, I know that it's done all over the planet. However, here she is, this little African-American woman in a state that's pretty, in a time, not just a state, in a time where segregation was the rule of law. And she needed to go someplace else to learn. And so she went to a boarding school, and she finished at the boarding school. And then when she went to a HBCU, which is a Black university, okay? And she got a degree in mathematics. And then after she finished, now here she is, a woman with a degree in mathematics in the 50s, which mostly in the 50s, from what I know, women were housewives. However, she went and applied for the job from NASA, and she got it. And she started working at NASA in 1953. Now, needless to say, she was the first of her gender to work at NASA and the first of her racial ethnicity to work at NASA. And after telling you all this, you probably already know about her because she was in the movie Hidden Figures. If you saw the movie Hidden Figures, she was the lead mathematician. However, when I read about her, and I knew about her after the movie, I don't want to act like I knew all this stuff before. I'm being transparent. I learned about her during the time of the movie. And then when I was being with this week, her name popped right up into my head. Actually, her face popped into my head. A very gorgeous woman. who's no longer on the planet, who's made her transition. And it dawned on me that she did exactly all these things. She was GPSing into creativity, insight, and imagination. And she was doing this when she was 10 years old. So if she could start it at 10 years old, it doesn't matter where we are chronologically on the time scale. Each one of us can do it. Each one of us can be a part of this. Each one of us can make this happen in our lives in whatever way it is to happen for us. And so you're thinking, okay, all right, great. In what way do we do this? Because it's easy for those of us who are new thought, ageless wisdom, to read and take classes and go to book clubs and to contemplate and to just be holy. And to just be enlightened and to just be metaphysical and spiritual. However, we have chosen to come here on the planet at this time and incarnate in these things we call body temples. We're carrying spirit around in body temples. So there must be some way that our body temples can activate any of this happening, this GPSing into creativity, insight, and imagination. And yes, there are some practical ways. So the first way that showed up for me is we get to surrender all of our limitations. Surrender limitations. And this is part of insight. And what do I mean by surrendering our limitations? Surrender the story. I have stories, you have stories, we all have stories. I have a dear friend who used to say, there is my side of the story, there is your side of the story, and then there's the truth. So we all have stories. We get to surrender our stories. And this word came up for me. I learned this word when I was a little girl because I had learned about emancipation. We get to manumit our limitations, which means to emancipate them, to liberate them, to let them go. Any limitations that we may have put into our life. And for me or for you, some of the stories I tell myself are stories of doubt. I tell myself stories of not enoughness. I tell myself stories of failure. I tell myself stories of ineptitude. And being transparent, sometimes I do. So we get to surrender and manumit all of our limitations. And those limitations are usually wrapped up in a well-crafted, well-read, well-known story. We get to, when I have a conversation with someone, I get to lead with my truth instead of my story. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is. It can be challenging, but also it's already there for us. So that's the first way we get to be a part of this. The second way, and these are all, as you know, because we're in a body temple, you don't know this, but because we're in a body temple, it's about using our body temple and using our entire being instead of just the cerebral part. Instead of the cerebral part, let ourselves make that little journey from the head to the heart. So the second way we get to GPS into creativity, imagination, and insight is to stretch out and unfurl into the mystery of life. And this, we use creativity. This is where creativity shows up. Because remember, we said creativity, or we talked about creativity is representing the infinite, bringing the infinite in my own specific way. So it is our divine right to expand into life's journey, into the sacred garden of our souls. And I want to read you a quote from Teresa of Avila, Falling into the Arms of God. It says, the eternal journey into the mystery of who we are requires of us an expansiveness of spirit and mind, as we are given at every moment the opportunity to walk through the mind and soul of God, knowing we are magnificent souls who are one and the same in spirit. Wow. Just think about that. When I read this, walking through the mind and soul of God. So that means I am walking in a place of infinite possibilities, infinite creativity, infinite insight, infinite imagination, infinite balance, infinite prosperity, infinite. Yeah. The place of omnipresence and omnipotence and omniscience and so much more. That's exactly who and what we are. So we get to stretch out and unfurl into the mystery of life, because the mystery of life is the joy of life. It's the gift of life, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I have an idea. I set an intention. However, this thing I do know, that there are blessings just awaiting my acceptance, blessings awaiting my awareness, blessings that are just saying to me, we're here for you, Verona, we're here for you. And for each one of you, we're here for you, Amy, we're here for you, Michael J, we're here for you, Jennifer. Yes, blessings that have our names on them already, that we get to open up, stretch out into it, and unfurl into the mystery of life. And the third way that we GPS ourselves, God pointing system, is by sliding and gliding in consciousness. Yeah. Now I love the visual of this in my own mind. Sliding and gliding in consciousness, which is part of imagination. And to do this is really easy. We get to use faith and trust and lift up to a higher level of meaning. Yeah, and this is really something that we get to do quite easily, and we get to embrace the feeling tone of the end. You know, like I want something to happen. And in my consciousness, the way it gets to happen is I slide and glide into the consciousness of the ending of it. You know, like, okay, let's just think of something. Okay, so I want my Sunday dinner to come out perfectly. All right, I'm having people over. I want my Sunday dinner to come out perfectly. In my consciousness, I decide that already. Whoa, wasn't that a spectacular meal? Wasn't it savory? Didn't everything taste really just scrummy and delicious? And didn't I just execute it to perfection? Yeah, that's about sliding and gliding in consciousness. And I found this Bible verse that goes for this, that suits for this, is you will see greater things. You will see heaven open and the angels ascending and descending. And let's remember that heaven has come to earth through and as each one of us. So that's the thing about heaven. And it's an ascending and descending activity. In our consciousness, it's up and down, in and out, side to side. It is, it's a samba, it's a rumba, it's a salsa, it's a tango, it's a bachata. It's all of those things in our lives and so much more. So these things, here's the things how we get to GPS into creativity, imagination, and insight is by surrendering our limitations, stretching out and unfurling into the mystery of life, and sliding and gliding in our consciousness. Now, how's this working in my life? Years ago, I went on the Venice to Simplon Orient Express. And this showed up for me when I saw this Orient to openness. And I went in Europe. I went from London. It was just a day trip. I went from London. We went to the White Cliffs of Dover. We went to a couple of other places. However, I went on it because it's opulent and luxurious. And at that time, even, Spirit let me know, part of the reason you came here was about prosperity. And if you're going to teach about prosperity and abundance and opulence and affluence, you get to experience it. It gets to be a part of your life. So I went on the Venice to Simplon Orient Express, the one-day trip. Some of you may know of it because it goes all the way across Europe usually. But this is the one-day trip. So I went on it. I get there. I get to the station. I get to Paddington Station. And they had cards with your name. They had my name up. And I came to know that each group that was on the trip that day, on the train, on this luxury train, got their own butler. And so and when I got there to the station, I saw different groups of people, but I was in my own group. My group was Verona, Reverend Verona. That was my group. Well, here I get my own butler. And the butler says to me, good morning, ma'am. What would you like? Would you like tea? Would you like coffee? Da, 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 da. And during the day of the trip, it was in winter. And when we'd get off the train and get back on. When I got back on, he'd have a little heater for my feet and say, please allow me to take off your boots and put your feet in the heater. Yes. And please allow me. And he said to me, you're an American, so you probably want coffee instead of tea. I said, well, no, actually, I'm an American who likes tea, but could you get me some green tea? And he said, yes, I'll hunt around the train and find some. I mean, had my own butler. My every movement, my everything. Every movement I made on the train, he was right behind me, trailing me or being with me. Yeah. And this was an 8-hour trip. When we got back to the station in London, we went all these places. We got back to the station in London. He said, ma'am, don't get off. I'm getting a car for you. He gets a card that I go out of the train station. There's a car for me, with the sign. Yeah, there's a car for me. And he walks me to the car and thanks me profusely for being a part of the journey for the day. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is that it really oriented me to openness, I might say. It really gave me an opportunity to do all these things we've been talking about, to GPSing into my own inside imagination and creativity, as well as I got to surrender my limitations. I got to surrender thinking, well, I'm going on this train trip and that's all there is to it. And it's not anything special. And Spirit is not giving me something opulent. I am not open, that's the way I felt. I signed up. I thought it'd be a cool thing, So first thing, and then I stretched out and unfurled into the mystery of life because I want to share with all of you, you know me and love me, I think, and I love you. I really got into having my own butler. I really allowed myself to know, okay, for all the givingness that I am, this is givingness that is being given to me, is the expression of the divine being given to me. And my consciousness, then it just unfurled my consciousness in a way with faith and trust that, wow, so when I get off the train and I'm in my car, I'm in London and I'm traveling back to my Airbnb, wasn't called that at the time, but it was Airbnb. I'm thinking, anything is possible. I mean, everything is possible. And that my imagination can unfurl and let itself be seen in so many places, in so many ways. So I share that story with you too, because I realize now this was quite a while ago, but I realized this was the beginning of my prosperity work. This was the beginning of me being a prosperity mentor. This was the beginning of my knowing that I came here to teach abundance, prosperity, affluence, luxury, opulence, to everyone and as everyone, knowing that it is within and as each one of us. Because can you imagine how surprised I was? I show up at the Venice Simplon Orient Express train, and here I have a butler who's in a butler's outfit and everything. So what I'd like to challenge you with, or invite you, not challenge you, I just want to invite you to GPS into your own creativity, insight, and imagination, and the ways that you can do that really easy. And I know you all have the wherewithal in you, because if it came through me and to me, is mine to share, and it recognizes itself within, through, and as each one of you in spirit by surrendering your limitations, stretching out and unfurling into the mystery of life, and sliding and gliding into the consciousness of the divine. I know you have it. I know you can be it. Let's all do it together. I am complete.
Oh, thank you so much, sweet beloved. I am just smiling from the first joke. But the children, take things so literally. We have to remember that, so fortunately that child spoke up and asked, which service, because otherwise he might have taken that for a long time. Like, I don't know which service is worse. I might die. That was great. I appreciate the way you open us up. And you know what I'm thinking about this butler thing is that it was such a image of circulation, because you have been such the giving. That's what you've done for people for many years, showed up for them, served them on long trips and make them feel comfortable. And then here it was just reciprocated, right? And it's a beautiful example of how that circulation works. I love that. I love that story. Yes, and Michael J says, "Take me with you." Great share. I want a butler. Well, we have a butler, right? We really do in the spirit. It's like, think about it that way. We have a butler. John says, "Love you, Verona." Yes, I know he speaks for all of us. Didn't you love this, everybody? I was taking all these notes, as I always do, with Verona, and she was talking about the sliding and gliding in consciousness and all the dances. Well, I recently started dancing, so I know all of those. Well, I'm learning. Let me say, I'm learning all of those dances. I'm familiar with the dances that she named. I love that. I love that. Surrendering our limitations, and really, I like how you kind of honed in on it's really surrendering our story, because that's where a lot of the limitations end up sort of like hunkering down and staying there, and we might not even realize. Sometimes the stories are subtle, right? So really taking this inventory. I love this, that we are representing the Most High. We're representing, that's our gift. I think you said it. What did you say? You said, if we don't bring um who we are, something along these lines, I'm paraphrasing, of course, that's missing, because we are here to represent our unique expression. And So that's a great reminder. Like, you don't have to be like somebody else. You don't have to do what someone else is doing. I think sometimes, especially in our culture right now with the social media, the way it is, it's easy to kind of get locked in with, oh, well, that's how it should be. No, do it your own way. That's why you're here, right? That and staying openness to what does that look like for me? Luinda says, a beautiful message, Verona. We must allow and acknowledge the gifts that are already ours. Yes. Yes, indeed. I know, right? We can try to mold and manipulate to well, back to this conversation, what we think it's supposed to look like. And we might completely miss um, what it really is, meant for us. Michael J says, place myself in riches wherever they may be. They are in my imagination. Sweet, sweet essence. Yes. I say yes. Wow. Well, you know what? I would say let's take our questions and our deeper dive into the workshop, which is happening in a half an hour. So this is a great time to refuel, hydrate, get a snack or your lunch or whatever your body is calling for right now, and reorient, open up back up to a new space in our Zoom room at 11:30, which is in 30 minutes. So thank you everybody for being here with us this morning and holding this space and co-creating this space. It's such a beautiful reminder. So many great things you said today, Verona. I'm looking at the imagination is with us as children. We unlearn some of this the pure essence we come in with, right? We talk about this a lot as children. We might have been told, oh, that didn't look right, or you didn't color between the lines, or and we sort of unlearn what is that we're here to represent. What is our creative spark? Because it might be kind of buried under some layers. So we're here to delve in and excavate all of that. And thank you, precious one, for your essence. We're so grateful for you and always what you bring to us. And everybody, if you feel refreshed, restored, feel a great connection with co-creating this community, this sacred community, please consider visiting our giving page on unityinspiredliving.org, our website, and share an energetic exchange with us. We are so grateful for support because it enables us to keep sharing and inspiring and loving and thriving. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. We are going to close here in this moment with our prayer of divine awakening, and then we will move over to our Zoom room for the deeper dive. And I'm going to drop that link right here in our chat. It's also, remember, on our website, our homepage, unityinspiredliving.org. And you'll see it, the link right in there next to Verona's picture. And come on, come on, invite anybody and everybody, because we're all welcome in that space. So let me share my screen with you and bring up this potent prayer of divine awakening. Where's my screen? There it is. And I invite you to speak this life into your day, declare this for your life. If you would like a copy of it, just let me know and I'm happy to send that to you. The prayer of divine awakening. It's a new day, a beautiful day, a new beginning. I embrace this day with new eyes, an open heart, and expansive mind. I choose my vibrational frequency deliberately and consciously, harmonizing with life's events. I am receptive to source energy, divine guidance, and wisdom available to me at all times. I commit to serve unconditional love fully and completely. I move forward in a state of appreciation, an extension of the one magnificent power and presence. I am sovereign, whole, and free, claiming dominion over my life as I go in peace and awaken to my divinity. And so it is. Thank you for co-creating this space with us, beloveds. We're so, so grateful. Kathy says, thank you, Verona. Oh, one last comment here. Let me see. Jennifer, thank you so very much, Reverend Verona, for always sharing your beautiful, joyful, and loving spirit with us, along with your creative and inspiring message. That is a beautiful way to close out. Thank you, dear one. We love you. We appreciate you. Shine on like the sun, bright ones. Mwah. See you in the Zoom room in just about 25 minutes. Blessings.